Well, non-judgmental observation is also known to be accepting yourself and being self-compassionate. And three characteristics of that include kindness to yourself and feeling oneness with the world at large, and it also includes a very balanced awareness of what you're feeling. I kind of picked that picture because of what it said at the bottom. I don't know if you can read. It says, what's in a name? Nothing. Compassion in your soul makes you great, and it shines in your eyes. If you really look at the eyes of the person they are, you can see the compassion there. So it's also been found that compassion is correlated with life satisfaction, resilience, and it really helps people adapt to changes in the environment. Comprehension of right purpose. Now, knowing the purpose of your actions and then finding the most ethical and best action to support your purpose is a very important part of mindfulness, and which is typically not talked about mindfulness when we study it in the context of stress or medicine. But it's really important. And there have been studies to show that mindful people actually had more ethical behaviors, and it was also correlated with the silent ego, which is connected to altruism, wisdom, and again, that feeling of oneness with people. Now, according to the American Life, we sometimes think that environmentally friendly behaviors are mutually exclusive from happiness. But this study actually found that people who were mindful were not only more ecological, but they were actually happier than the non-mindful people. In the field of business, the notion of higher purpose is being reflected in this new movement called conscious capitalism. And this is being led by very conscious leaders who are living their purpose in every aspect of their life. So it's not that they're just doing socially responsible behaviors, but they're actually living and being the change that they want to see in this world. And what is also different in this paradigm is that it's moving away from just maximizing shareholder value to actually maximizing all stakeholders' value. In fact, there was a longitudinal study done over a period of 10 years, and they found that the conscious businesses actually outperformed the S&P 500 companies with a factor of 9 to 1. So it's really interesting to study what this movement's looking like. So now let's look at how mindfulness can inform your business and more specifically marketing. Any marketing students here? Oh, cool. So you're kind of familiar, a very simplistic way of talking about marketing is it includes these 4 stages or steps, starting with your mission. So you need to define your mission statement. You want to do an environmental scan, which includes not only your inner strengths and weaknesses, but you're also looking into the environment to find out those opportunities and threats out there. Based on that, you decide what your unique positioning is, how do you differentiate yourself from other comparable businesses, and the last thing is the marketing mix, which typically includes the 4 Ps, which are product, price, place, and promotions. Yes. So let's look at each one of them. Starting with the business purpose, we already talked about mindfulness and how finding the right purpose is a very important part of mindfulness. And this is also the common theme amongst all the CEOs and founders of these businesses. And this is just a sample. There are many, many businesses out there that are being run by mindful leaders. And what is key over here is that their business purpose runs way beyond just making profits. So they're about enhancing the well-being of all stakeholders. Now, finding your purpose is not always easy, and it requires soul searching and creating that time and space to figure out your purpose. And it's like what Mark Benioff of Salesforce.com, which is a very successful business, and he says that if you want to unite the people and keep them focused, you want to have a common mission that they share. And this mission should make them feel like they're contributing to something much larger than just making profits. The other point I want to make about your purpose is that it can be evolving and changing as you change. So being mindful doesn't mean that you're perfect. I mean, God knows we've had a lot of scandals with John Mackey, who's leading the conscious capitalism movement. But what is key in being mindful is that you acknowledge your mistakes and you learn from them. And so your purpose also can be evolving and changing with, as you change and the environment changes. So let's look at environmental scan and how being mindful can help you change with the changing environment. So a non-judgmental observation, which is a key part of mindfulness, can really help you notice the changes in the environment without, getting all worked up about it. So for example, when I started my consulting and I realized, with my environmental scan that social media is a very important aspect of marketing these days. Wasn't taught to me in my business school back in my days, but yet I had to do it, I had to learn it. And now I go and teach other people and businesses how to use social media. And there's a lot of resistance there. What makes it harder for them to learn this is because of their, their old thinking patterns about, that maybe I'm just not good at social media, or technology sucks, or I suck, and it's this resistance towards the change that makes the learning harder. So if they could just observe the change very simply, remove themselves, and be very objective about it, it's much easier then to notice the change and change with more equanimity. And it's like Benioff gives a very good example in his book. He talks about when he was launching his business, Salesforce.com, there was a lot of criticism about his vision and his product. People thought it's going to fail. But he says that it was through meditation that he was able to maintain his inner calm, and he was able to really deal with, with all the criticism and actually turn these people around. Which is unique positioning. Now, if you can be connected to your higher purpose and you can look into the environment very non-judgmentally and notice what is the unmet need in the marketplace right now, your unique positioning will naturally follow. Being a mindful marketer means that your unique positioning just becomes naturally who you are. So for example, Denise Sharetta, she was a chiropractor. And she had this epiphany that you need to start a cafe that ends world hunger. And so here's this chiropractor who's got this epiphany to start a cafe. And what was really unique about her model was that her cafe has no price, has no menu, and no portions. So you can imagine her unique philosophy about the cafe, that she's going to trust her customers to pay the right price. There's going to be no wastage because there are no portions. People take as much as they want. And no one leaves her cafe hungry. And because she had such a unique model over here, that this cafe really caught on. And now she's going all around the country, including consulting with Panera Bread, to start similar cafes, community cafes. Again, non-conceptual awareness, if you remember what that means, not being attached to old thinking patterns, that can really help you in product innovation. And I mean, there is a slight problem, especially when you get really big and you're profitable, it's hard to change. However, that didn't stop our Ray Anderson, the CEO of Interface Carpets, from changing his entire product line, all his processes, and even his entire corporate culture once he realized the damage that his business was doing on the environment. And now he's a worldwide leader in modular carpets and has amazing processes. And it's because of his non-attachment to the old thinking patterns that he was really able to create his new vision for true sustainability across all dimensions: people, place, profits, everything. mindful communications can really benefit from being present in your communications, because very often when in our interactions, we're not really listening. So for example, if you're a salesperson and you're with a client and your mind is already gone into the future because you're trying to close down your deal, or it's stuck in the past, darn, I really messed up last time. So if you're stuck in your past failures, you're not really listening to what your customer needs. And if you're not listening, you definitely cannot provide the best solution. So mindful attention can be really valuable. What is also important here is being connected to your purpose, because that's what allows mindful, authentic communications. So connect with your authentic story. Find out what it is that you really want to do, and you can communicate that. And especially now with social media, there are many channels out there for you to connect with people authentically. So when Blake Pykoski, who started Tom's Shoes, when he came up with the idea of giving one shoe out for donation for every shoe sold, he didn't use traditional advertising. Because he had such a unique story and such an engaging story, he just used social media to tell his story. And soon people were forwarding it to his friends, and it's become a really popular brand now. So I hope this glimpse into your mind and mindfulness has piqued your curiosity about mindfulness, and as soon as you leave this event today, you're going to go and Google a mindfulness practice on campus. And there are many options out there, so go out and experiment with them, find out what works for you, and then stay with it. And in the end, in conclusion, I leave you with these questions to help you in your personal inquiry into your own mind and help you be the change that you want to see in the world.